Warning, the following video contains my opinions. It is okay to disagree with my views. Therefore, if you have a differing view, let me know in the comment section below. Thank you. Good morning, good afternoon, everyone. Render back here with my Madden Ultimate Team promo review list, or my tier list, if you will. I know GutFox and a multitude of other YouTubers have already made a tier list based upon the promos, but I wanted to give my 2 cents on each promo. And before we get into the video today, I would ask that you like and subscribe if you are new. Turn that bell notification on to get all the recent updates that I have whenever I put a video out. And so without further ado, let's jump into this. And so the very first one that I want to talk about is the Blitz promo. Now, Blitz promo comes out around Thanksgiving, Black Friday, and while it is a very cool promo, I'd have to put it into the enjoyable but meh column. And the reason behind this, honestly, it's because I think this is one of the few promos that is undeniably pay to win. You really have to open a ton of packs in order to get the currency, the set pieces, if you will, to unlock the promo masters. That was which Lamar Jackson or Chris Johnson. Both amazing and really cool cards, but I think this was a little bit too much pay to win in my opinion. While I won't say Madden's always pay to win, because you can play the game a lot and get enough coins to really make what team you want to be, I do think this promo, Blitz, was very pay to win, and because of that, I'm going to say it's enjoyable, but it was pretty meh. I do appreciate they had, currency offers where you could use their, I believe, bolts or volts in the reroll sets in that essence, and so you could get some free stuff, but it wasn't amazing, and so overall, it was just average in my opinion. The second one, Color Smash, undeniably bring it back as is. And now my reasoning behind this might be a little bit weird, but it's because of how glitchy / loophole-ish this promo was. In essence, the fact that we had the reroll method where we could constantly get Ed Reed or Barry Sanders for very, very cheap and make a lot of coins off of it was awesome in my opinion. I'm going to be talking about this in my third part to the MUT review series, but this promo was very cheesy. Now, is cheesy a good thing or a bad thing? Well, if it's difficult to make coins because head-to-head sucks, or weekend leagues are very hard to compete in, or gameplay is just broken in general, you have to turn to alternatives, and I definitely think this is a fair thing. And so because of that, Color Smash, undeniably bring it back as is. Now, draft promo, a lot of people like this promo, and I think it's because of how many new players we got. I really liked kind of the legends, if you will, from draft promo. You got some Von Millers, some Adrian Petersons, and I liked it. However, I don't think it's the best promo list, or the top of the list, if you will, for a few reasons. One, the rerolls were pretty trash. The amount it cost to pull or roll one time was ridiculous, and that was kind of the negative to that, so it wasn't really perfect in my opinion. Now, I will say the fact that they gave us a crap ton of players was awesome. It really makes it one of the better promos in Madden this year. However, I think the rolls were a little bit frustrating. The sets were a little bit wonky. I didn't like how you had to keep putting players into sets to get a better player and to get a new one. It made some of the cards, I think, lose its value very quickly. So it was a great promo, but it wasn't perfect. I think there could be some tweaks to it. The next one we have, Flashback. Definitely going to be trash. Flashback has so much potential, as it does every single year. I think we all can recall, the Guess Who's that TD Presents did back in the older Maddens with flashback cards, which were so much fun to open because you never knew who you're going to get. But this year, they just did some things wrong with it. I'm okay with having it in a roll method, if you will, but the cards were not worth pulling. They weren't fun to pull for, and there wasn't a lot of flashback players really that you could pull. I think there's a lot of things that they can improve on, and until then, flashback has to stay in trash, but there is so much potential to it, right? Combine promo. This one is a little bit mixed for me. I'm gonna say it's great, but it needs minor tweaks to it. And I think the tweaks that we all can agree with are limited time cards, right? The fact that they didn't really have any limited time cards made it not as enjoyable promo, because typically you want LTD cards to pull for during these promos, and we didn't get that with the Combine. Now we did get a free DK Metcalf, which is cool, a fast card, not really a card that you should be having in your top 3 by any means for wide receivers, but a card that you could put just as an overall boost to your team, if you will. Otherwise the Deion Sanders was a cool card, but the Mari Cooper, the Alvin Kamara, very slow cards, just not very good. And it kind of was a downer to see cards that are so cool and players that are so amazing in the NFL get really crappy overall stat boosts in the game. I think Denzel Ward was the third one. He was pretty good, but otherwise, this promo was good. I enjoyed it, but it has some improving before it can be just an amazing promo. The next one, we have FAP, or Fan Appreciation. This one's a little bit tough. I'm going to actually flip this up a little bit. I'm going to put Combine and then enjoyable but meh. I'm going to put FAP at great, but it needs minor tweaks. Now, the promo in general, I will say, it started off horribly. The packs they gave us were overpriced and way overvalued. The cards that you could pull from this were horrible. They were not good whatsoever. And because of that, I didn't like it. However, they updated the packs. They gave us round 2, if you will, of these fat packs, and they were a lot better. People were pulling a lot of golden tickets out of them, myself included. I pulled golden ticket Brian Dawkins, and so I liked that aspect of it. In regards to the solo challenges, we got a free golden ticket, which is really cool because golden tickets were impossible to pull, right? And so, yes, I think this was a really good promo, and I think this was one of the more appreciative fan appreciation promos that I have experienced in Madden Ultimate Team, so I hope we can see this back next year with just a little bit of tweaking. Next one we have Football Outsiders. I'm just going to put this one back in the trash as well. You'll see a recurring trend that I'm putting a lot of these weekly promos that come out once a week with new cards. I didn't care for them. Again, it's not bashing the roll method or having to re-roll them to get the cards you want. It's just the cards weren't good. They weren't worth my time. There were a few different cards that were interesting. The Darren Waller for sure was a cool card, but man, honestly, how many of us just rolled it to try to get more training out of it rather than actually getting good cards? So because of that, Football Outsiders wasn't a good promo in my opinion. I did like the kickers they added, but it still wasn't good. Free agency, I'm gonna have to say free agency was probably bring it back as is. With the small caveat of I wish they had limited time cards that you could get from free agency. Again, maybe you'll notice with the promos that had really great methods to make coins, I'm going to put the God tiered list, the top of the list, because it was more enjoyable for me. And I think that was what I enjoyed most about Madden this year, potentially. When gameplay was horrible, I really liked having promos that gave us a way to make a lot of coins. And so free agency, I really enjoyed. Plus, they added a lot of new cards to it. The rolls were super fun to do. And overall, I thought it was a really good promo. I think maybe the only thing to add was to add more limited time cards to it. But other than that, I enjoyed it. The next one, we have Gauntlet. I'm going to say Gauntlet was very enjoyable but meh. And my reasoning behind this is, one, you get decent rewards out of it. You get like 25,000 coins of some variation, as well as playing other parts of the solo strings and whatnot. But man, it was kind of just meh for this year. I remember in past Gauntlets, you got a lot more rewards. It wasn't ridiculous to complete. And I just felt like this was not very fun to play this year for Gauntlet. So I'm just going to say it was meh for me this year. So this is golden tickets, right? Golden tickets, I'm going to say so much potential but trash, okay? A few different things to say about golden tickets. Number one, pull rates were absolutely horrible. Nobody pulled them, which made the cards ridiculous in price, and nobody wanted to spend that many coins on cards that were amazing, don't get me wrong. The cards looked amazing, they played amazing, but they were just way too overpriced. So I think that was kind of the pitfall with that. In addition, the developer golden tickets were pretty bad. Like, I'm sorry, developers, did you specifically want to put out golden tickets that nobody wanted and were absolutely horrible? I don't understand the thought process with that, and so I think I was disappointed with that. Am I happy that golden tickets are back in Madden? Absolutely. I think it has so much potential, and I think it could be a lot more fun to complete. However, in its current state, I think golden tickets were a huge L. Okay, this was the Harvest promo, or the Thanksgiving promo, however you want to point it. This was kind of leading up to Thanksgiving. I'm going to say this was bring it back as is. I really enjoyed it. I think you could make a lot of coins off of it, right? And so I believe Michael Irving and Night Train Lane were the two players as the set masters, or the promo masters, if you will. Really good cards. They weren't hard to get. You could get them for a very cheap price. I also liked how you could get the Odell Beckham, or perhaps the Zach Ertz, or the Quentin Nelson at a very cheap or even free rate. And so I thought this was a really good promo. Again, always like to see limiteds in promos, but we didn't really see that. And so maybe if I really was being picky, I could bring it back down a level. But overall, I thought it was a good promo, and I would love to see it back next year just as is. Next one, heavyweights. Trash. If anything, I think heavyweights is probably the best out of all these weekly ones, mainly because we got a lot of linemen, like offensive tackles and guards, and you could get them for a pretty cheap rate. And I think that was the only benefit that, honestly, I saw in this. I still didn't like heavyweights. I like the concept of it, don't get me wrong, but it was just trash, even though there was so much potential. NFL honors. I'm going to say it was enjoyable, but meh. NFL honors, the whole premise behind it is MVP, Rookie of the Year, Offensive and Defensive Player of the Year, Comeback Player, so on and so forth. But it's also one of those, similar to the Blitz, it's pay to win, if you will, right? And so I think kind of the downside with this is that if you wanted to get a lot of these cards, you had to spend some money to open these packs. And that's kind of the downer with it. I thought the cards were cool looking. MVP Lamar Jackson was a stud, but it was just average. I think there should be promos that maybe don't allow everyone to just get an amazing reward from it, but I think it should be a decent reward. And this was a promo that really didn't yield anything for the average player. So it was an okay promo, but there's always room for improvement with NFL honors. Journey was, in my opinion, so much potential, but trash. I didn't grind for a single Journey player this year, and in years past, I have grinded for all of them. The first card was the Michael Thomas, and that's all I have to say about it. A super slow receiver that wasn't that good, and just took so much time to complete, even with the quick switch or the quick transitions for solos this year. I just didn't think it was good, and I'm disappointed with what they did with Journey this year. The rewards for it as the year went on weren't any better. We got gold packs at the end of the year. Who the heck needs a gold pack at the end of Madden 20? It was disappointing for me this year, and they need to improve this so much, in my opinion. Next one we have is Legends. Legends, I would have to say, I'm going to say great. I would say Legend promo was great, but it needs tweaks. I enjoyed the Legends at the beginning of the year. I will say it was great to see Marcus Allen in the game, and I really liked having him at the beginning of the year as well as everyone else did, because he was an absolute animal and absolutely broken. I think in regards to what could they improve on, this kind of can improve on with a lot of pack opening promos. They need a mileage system where you can open a certain amount of packs that are legend packs, and you're guaranteed a full legend after a certain amount of packs. And I get it, that's what a bundle's for, but even a bundle doesn't guarantee that. So I think because of that, the legend promo was great, but it could still be improved, I think, through a mileage system. Okay, now this is, I believe, the level up challenges. underwhelming. I don't think they're horrible, but I mean, how many of us actually like went through them constantly and completed them all? Nobody did really, right? I liked Maddens when they had free jerseys that you got by completing these, kind of to give you an incentive to continue to play them and get more jerseys to kind of customize your team more. But overall, I don't have much to say about this. Most feared, I loved this promo. Bring it back as is. I loved the Ray Lewis. Peyton Manning, pretty big L. Nobody really wanted a Peyton Manning because it doesn't play well. It was cool to see him in the game, but it wasn't a good card to pick up. I liked the rolling with bats. I thought that was really cool. I liked the players that were underneath Ray Lewis. They were good cards. The whole promo was just very cool and it looked cool. Again, limiteds would be amazing. But overall, I thought it was a pretty good promo, and I think if they brought it back as is, I wouldn't be complaining at all. Next promo. This is the MUT 10, the 10-year celebration. Bring it back as is. Now, again, we can't really do this because it was a 10-year celebration, so it wouldn't make much sense to do so, but I loved what they did with it. They brought out a new player every single week, and that player was a god mode for that week or for a decent month or two. And I loved the card art. The Bo Jackson looked amazing. The Michael Vick looked phenomenal. The Deion Sanders looked so cool. I love this promo, and if they were to do something like this again for a celebration next year, if they brought it back just like that, I wouldn't be mad at all. MUT Heroes. MUT Heroes, I think, was great, and it needs minor tweaks. Overall, I thought you could earn a good amount of coins or, earn a good amount of players just solely off the rerolling method. And I pulled Saquon a lot to make a lot of coins off of it. And so I think for the most part, this was a great promo in regards to that. Now, players they chose, I think that's always the argument. You don't always want the players that EA chooses specifically, but overall I thought it was a good promo. I think I would maybe like to see, I don't know, maybe like a limited time card. I know I keep saying that and it's going to get really repetitive, but limiteds really make each promo more unique by adding a card that just has a different customized card art. But overall, MUT Heroes, good promo. All-time team, phenomenal. I love this promo. I understand it brought in Eric Dickerson, aka the day that Madden died, but it was a good promo. You got really good cards. You could, really add a lot of these to the team, and I love the card art. I loved how it was based around them adding in the all-time players every single week. I really enjoyed this promo, and if they were to do something similar to this in the future, if they brought it back as is, I would be ecstatic. NFL playoffs. Wow. Very split on this. There were certain aspects that I really liked, but there were some things that I thought were stupid. And I really liked the set masters. We had, I do believe, Terrell Owens, who was awesome. And we have Champ Bailey, and they were both really good players. I loved them. We also had really good, I believe, 95 overalls. We got the Stephon Gilmore, who, again, was super slow. I don't get why they made him a slow card this year in Madden, but he was a good card. The Deshaun Watson was very competent for a while as a quarterback. I liked those cards. I thought the re-rolling was not fun. They made it too expensive. The rates were very, very bad, and it just wasn't an enjoyable promo in that aspect. A lot of the players that they had were cool, but I think ways to earn coins and ways to have fun with it were very limiting. The power-up. Now, this is something that they brought in at the very end of the year, and honestly, I liked it. I think it's a smart idea to bring in this, not at the end of the year, but throughout the whole year. Players that aren't going to be getting a lot of updated cards deserve to get a boost. And maybe that's a player that, was having high hopes for this season and they get hurt. And they could consistently add that throughout the year. Like, for example, the beginning of the year, Andrew Luck retired. They could have done this power-up expansion at the beginning of the year and gave Andrew Luck an upgradable card throughout the year, which would have been brilliant in my opinion. And so I think this is a great promo. I think this should be introduced at the beginning of the year next year. And if they continue to do something like this, I think they really did a good job with this if they have it all year next year. Rookie Premiere. Rookie Premiere is something that's always interesting every single year. I will say this. I think Rookie Premiere is great, but it needs minor tweaks. Now, what do I mean by this? In Madden Ultimate Team 20, Rookie Premiere is great, but Madden 21 is a completely different story. In my opinion, the cards that we get every single year are really just for overall buffs, in my opinion. They really are not usable cards. They don't have the abilities that we need. They don't have the fact that we can have physical chems, so we can't add Sprinter or Bruiser on them. Or Brawler, my apologies. They're just a very limited card in the next year's Madden. So I think they're awesome in the current Madden, but the new card that we get next year isn't worth the time and the coins that you put into it for Madden 20. This is the Signature Series. Signature Series, I'm going to say underwhelming. I thought the card art was cool, and that's about it. A lot of the cards weren't that great. Yeah, that's all I have to say about that. I think it was underwhelming. The stay-at-home order, or the play-at-home, stay-home, play safe, or whatever it is, it's enjoyable, but meh. Why is this? They gave you great rewards. I will not argue this, and I thought it was great of EA to do something like that. However, I wasn't a huge fan of how they made you do this. They made you play a bunch of Weekend League. Well, Weekend League sucks. It's not fun. It's saturated by people that run the ball 24/7 or just blitz the heck out of you. It's unguardable. Make you play solo battles. Solo battles you DC constantly, so you don't get many coins from that because you're just going to get disconnected and doesn't count as a win, which is just super unfortunate. I thought it was a good idea, but I was a little bit disappointed with it. Oops, sorry, football is still trash. I think they could have done a little bit better with this, and they just wanted you to play the game in the worst game modes possible. So, kind of an L, but it was somewhat enjoyable because you got quote-unquote free coins. Super Bowl. Yeah, I like this promo. It was really fun. Tyreek Hill was a boss. Steve Young was so cool to play with. I started off with Steve Young at the beginning of the year for me, and so it was nice to see him finally upgraded. But this is a good promo. I liked how much stuff we got from it. I liked the card art. I really enjoyed this promo, and if they brought it back in a similar way next year, I would be stoked. Alright, this is the Superstar promo at the beginning of the year. The Superstar promo, I would have to say, was enjoyable, but meh. I like the cards that we got from it. They were okay. The Stephon Gilmore, again, pretty good at the time. The Todd Gurley, actually not very good. Very slow card, so it wasn't that amazing card to play with. OBJ, fun to play with, good card. But I think at the current time, that's when house rules was kind of a thing, and they made it such a stupid grind to get the free card for this. And not to mention the sets you had to complete. It was so many golds, like holy cow, it was a lot. So overall, it was fine, but it wasn't amazing. And if they brought it back next year, I would be okay with it, but I would love to see improvements that they have for it as well. All right, the next thing with the Captain promo. I don't really call this a promo. I don't know why this is on the list, but it's something I guess you get reoccurring throughout the year. Let's say great, but needs minor tweaks. Honestly, this could be the best. It could be bring it back as is, but honestly, I would love to see more players for the captains, not just the 4 they gave us as options. Excuse me. I would love to see more, honestly. If they brought back like maybe 8 instead of 4, or maybe maybe 6 to 8, I would be ecstatic. More diversity that you get to see on people's teams with this, and they're actually competent cards, would be so much fun to see with this. So I think it's great, but it needs a little bit of tweaking. This is Theme Builders. Theme Builders, I actually enjoyed these. I thought it was a grind to get them, yes, but they were competent cards at the time, and at the current points that we were giving them, Madden was or allowed us to grind the game out, and it wasn't too boring to do so. Themed Diamonds. Themed Diamonds I thought was awesome. It brought in a lot of cards that we hadn't seen in a lot of Maddens before. It kind of brought back teams' legends that we were, familiar with, but we didn't get to see in Madden. I really enjoyed it. I thought they did a good job with it, and I'd love to see it back. Almost the same as it was last year. Those are a few of the streams that I actually enjoyed watching Kralo talk about these and just seeing all these cards revealed. It was a blast for me. Team of the Week. I'm not going to put it, I guess, with the trash but so much potential. I'll put it at underwhelming because there were some good cards. There was a Tyreek Hill that you could get. Was it incredibly overpriced? Absolutely. But it was okay for Team of the Week. I think there's so much potential to it, and they just didn't do a good job with it this year. The only thing I guess you could say is that if you collected them all, got all the tokens, you could get, which I'll talk about now, the Team of the Year set, and get a free card, fantasy if you will. But overall, it was underwhelming. Team of the Year, honestly, thought it was fantastic for two reasons. One, you could get free cards from this, and they were good cards. Two, you could actually get Nats in the reroll, which I thought was really interesting. So if you didn't want to get a card that you could sell back and just wanted for the team for the rest of the year, you could do that, and it was really cool, honestly. I thought what they did with that. And it was also a cheaper rolling method to try to get cards that you wanted. The Aaron Donald and Russell Wilson were really cool to have. I thought they had a wide range of cards that were not amazing, but some that were phenomenal. I really enjoyed this promo. Ultimate Trainers, I'll say enjoyable, but man, it did give us, I do believe, the cornerback from the New Orleans Saints, Marshawn Lattimore, and he had super high speed at that point in the game, so it made it competent that they gave us a good card. But other than that, it was kind of just get familiarized with the game, even though a lot of us don't need to, so it was okay. Ultimate Legends. I'm going to say, this is going to be nasty to say, but I'm going to say underwhelming. I thought the solo challenges sucked. You had to play so many full games to get an Ultimate Legend that could have been absolutely horrible. It wasn't fun. I did not enjoy Ultimate Legends. I like the cards coming out. It's always awesome to see them bring out new cards and content, but they could have done so much more with this. Again, kind of Legends, and I'll talk about this in another video, have a mileage system with this where you can open a certain amount of packs and get a guaranteed card. But man, and plus the 180,000 coin packs, are you kidding me? And they never changed it until the very last week of Madden. So pathetic job by EA in my opinion. I thought this was underwhelming, and I don't want to see it like this next year. Veterans, trash. Cool card art. It was awesome to see Ryan Fitzmagic with his glasses and jacket on, but other than that, it was pretty bad. Zero Chill, A-tier. Bring it back as is, please, and thank you. It was so much fun. There was so much stuff to do in this with Ghosts of Madden past, present, and future, as well as the Zero Chill players like Gronk, Walter Payton. Excellent job, excellent promo. Presents were super cool. People didn't think we'd get good stuff in presents, and we did. The market crashed, and it was just fantastic. But that's my tier list. Let me know, what did you think of it? What do you agree with? What do you not agree with? Let me know in the comment section below. That's all I have for today. Thank you all so much for watching. Take care, everyone.
What we do here is go back.